Hi, and good afternoon, everyone. My name is Albert, and this is Vlogs About Nothing. Thank you very much for taking the time out of your very busy afternoon to join me. I really do appreciate it. And so it's just one of them check-in times. I wanted to talk to you guys about opposites, okay? And I want you to hear me out because my entire life, I've kind of tried to complement this very, very high maintenance, high energy sort of a shell, all that is on the outside, you know what I mean? And then, obviously, there's all the stuff on the inside. And some people are more intense than others, and some people are extroverts, some people are introverts, some people have different sorts of things that define them, and my entire life, whether it be in college as a new student orientation leader or in any yearbook I've ever got, since I could write, I've always been a real high energy dude, and never anything sort of like ADHD or ADD, nothing wrong with that stuff. Honestly, I wish that was the case, just because I just got a lot of energy, and there's never really ever been an explanation for why I am so like that, and I've spent my entire life trying to figure that out. Very few people I've ever met, sort of have that, and doesn't make me special or anything, in fact, it makes me feel a lot more vulnerable, being that kind of way, and I've learned to channel it. Obviously, I've been in the film industry for quite some time, longer than I'd like to admit, and I've also been a part of theatrical, classical entertainment, classical theater, not quite a thespian, but enough stage background to really enjoy the art, and really would love to return to that medium at some point in my professional career. I've decided to go a different route and do this, and it's a different way that I've learned, where people can get to know me, whether it's people that I know or not. I just feel like a lot of us relate, and I watch more than a handful of people I'll never meet in real life all talk to me about their problems and their opinions on them and so forth, and I mean, it's like that. And so opposites are anything that's just all the opposite of what I said, it's of what I said. It's like somebody super chill, somebody really laid back, somebody that doesn't exemplify all the things that I do, I mean, at some point I'd like to think that that would be a part of the attraction, just because I can't really change who I am, not a lot, not at the core of who I am, and that's just because I guess I'm old enough to really understand who I am and what I want in my life, and admittedly it's taken me 5 lifetimes of failure to get to this point, and I can't blame other people, especially when they're younger than me, for not making the decisions that, I make, or that I would like for them to make and stuff. And I just can't sit well with the feeling in the pit of my stomach that, opposites are fine, you feel me? And I can't ever sit here, either professionally or personally, and tell anybody that I'm not that way. Off camera, on camera, I'm a little bit more calm on camera, I think, just because I have focus, but otherwise, again, I'm kind of just like the Duracell battery. They called me Mad Dog in middle school as a, youth basketball player, and that was because I was always diving for basketballs and loose balls and breaking my glasses and bleeding and still wanting to play and being very stubborn, and people have always been bigger than me, so kind of have like a short man complex, but again, I've grown up in a world where, every man I've ever known is 3 times the size of me, you know what I mean? And both in an athletic sense and in, just a communal sense, it's just always been I'm the smallest dude, and that's made me vulnerable in a lot of instances, and it's made me just fine in others, right? Because do not know the problems of tall men, or tall people in general. But I know that opposites attract. There's an opposite. I know that I guess I'm attracted to all women. But I do got a type as well. And what's unfortunate about this last thing, and why I'm making all these videos now so that I can try and focus, is this girl was like not only my type, but she was like my dream girl, and I told that to her in a message. And I think that's why this is so tough for me, just because like I'll go a couple hours or whatever, and then like all of a sudden like I'll just get this like flurry of emotion, and it's so weird because I've really dedicated a large part of my personal life to not doing this. I'm watching old videos of myself talk about other people when they go through these things, and I find it very interesting that I still feel that way, but it's hard for me to feel that way like when I'm going through this. And again, this is just my perspective, right? Obviously there's a stranger out there that knows the whole truth, and I think she knows more than she's ever let on to me before, and I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. Obviously right now it's a super bad thing, but she did tell me everything's gonna be okay. I am, for just some reason, I'll be like driving around or something, and then like I said, I'll get this really terrible feeling in the gut of my stomach, and then like my heart goes like really fast, you know what I mean? And then like I start to like tear up, and it's just this whole thing, and then I think about all like the bad things that we just had gone through, and how like opposite everything is, and how I heard her say that wasn't necessarily a complimentary trait to our relationship, but there's no other way. I think two people that are exactly the same are not just boring, but there's no room for growth there, like I'm trying to be somebody as opposite as me that has the same core values, but like is on a different wavelength, and I found that like this girl's hella cool. She's really, really calm. I'm sure just like any of us, she can get upset and stuff like that, and it didn't matter what I do to get her upset. I never seen her upset, and that's kind of the thing. Like, this was a real well put together girl, and like she was super nice to me, and not to say that I'm not nice like in my personal life, but she was very sweet about her niceness. And I'm kind of more of just like a businessman. I was talking to a close friend of mine recently, and I just can't seem to turn it off, not like the character in and of itself, but just some of the traits that I've picked up, in a lifetime of being conditioned to act a certain way or say a certain thing, or advocate on behalf of a certain cause or something. It's just been very much the opposite, of everything I've expected in my life thus far, where I would be and how I got here. And I'm not complaining. There's a couple of regrets that I have that are like monumental. I may not have a lot of regrets, but the ones that I do have are really, really bad. And that's just been the way of my life. It's never really been in the middle. And so it's been a good example of opposite, all my life. It's been like something really good happens, and then something really bad happens, and that's just how I think all of our lives are. I just think I talk about it, and I need to talk about it, because otherwise I'd be a real sad guy, and again, I'm trying to do everything in my life to avoid being sad, and it's tough because you battle yourself, you know what I mean? And like, there's no one else to blame, and I'm all for that. This has been a tough time for me, and what are you gonna do? That's what I'm saying. Like, people, sometimes we are opposite, and like when people say mean things and stuff too, coming from somebody like me who's just really talked a lot about some nothingness, the last couple minutes here, like it's just the nature of the way that I've been taught to be, and this is a good place for me to do this, because even if she didn't care, you know what I mean, or like if I never like talked to her again or whatever, like it doesn't matter, because I deserve what I get, and I was real mean to this girl, and it is what it is. And so I just think that, like, especially when people are like me, and they're upset, they say things, and it's like every single thing they said was like just the opposite of how they felt, and like I just think that's interesting, that sometimes people think opposites are like not good. And I've lived my entire life knowing that, in the bottom of my soul, like that's like the only way this world can work. Like if it's in your personal relationships or by large, at society, like at a societal level, I just think that people need to complement one another, and it's so boring to just come from the same place and know all the same things. And it's nice to learn things about people, especially when they're willing to share them with you. And I didn't get a lot of time to learn anything at all about this girl, and that's what's worse. You know what I mean? Is like being so like into somebody, but then like, I mean, is that a part of it? You feel me? Like, am I feeling that type of way because like it's like mysterious? You know what I mean? Again, I've had every stereotypical trope of a relationship that you could possibly imagine in life, and this has been the most difficult for me, and that's okay. I'm better. You see what I'm saying? Everything's okay. Everything's fine. It's all good. I hope that you guys have a really good day. Thank you so much. All right, I guess I don't want to do that in character. Hey, I really appreciate all of you guys watching these videos that I make and that I'm going to continue to make. Until not only I feel better, but until we get some things done here on the program. We had set a new goal this year for a number of videos and stuff, and I don't want to fail another thing, in my life. And the last time we set this goal, I was able to do it, and it was a really good year in my life. It was a year that I wasn't expecting, but at this point, I just don't really know what else to do. Before that, I had tried the relationship thing, and that didn't work out. And then, I thought I'd just get like a quick hookup maybe or something on an app, and ended up meeting this girl who also I think was just looking for the same thing. And regardless, we ended up like on some other type of thing, and that has been really difficult for me to process. And so again, you're just seeing me. Like, this isn't anything new, like in terms of I didn't just randomly start making these videos and decide to tell the world how I felt and how my life was going and stuff. It's just, it so happened to be that I'm like always, I'm living my life, and then this happened. And the last time this happened, it was almost a year of my time off completely, and that ended terribly. Like literally, I think I had fallen out of a tree 36 feet or something is what had happened. And that was because I had, at that particular time, I was making some bad decisions as it concerned my health and stuff, and so for about 3 years or so, it had been really chill. And then a couple relationships this year, one of them long distance and one of them not. And I had told myself back in November that like I was really gonna focus on not trying to like be physical with anyone and stuff. And then it happened, and then like I've been kind of freaking out ever since about it, just because I had waited so long to do anything intimate or physical, you know what I mean? And then like just for like a reason, and then it happened. And then like I was very excited to be in a committed relationship and stuff, and that's the reason, I was excited to just be in a committed sort of a thing. And I'm proud of myself for waiting or whatever, just because I'm a person too, and I like to go out and have fun and stuff, and hang out with my lady, and have sleepovers and stuff. I mean, this isn't me in character, right? Like, I'm a normal guy, you know. I like normal stuff too. Sometimes too much, like to my own detriment. You feel me? Like I'll have a couple weeks off of work or whatever, and like I don't even know what to do with myself. Just because I'm so used to structure and being on set, or somebody telling me what to do, a director or a producer or a PA, you know, or my boss or something. You know, I'm just obviously very autonomous, you know, believe in all that stuff for sure, and I can make my own decisions, and I believe in refining my own leadership skills and stuff. But you know, it's just I've been at a certain developmental stage in my life, and right now I've been focused on hearing other people out, and really trying to do exactly what they say, you know, and it's benefited me so far, and I don't know anything else that would, you know. No other jobs really work for me, and again, it just so happens to be that like I fell in love with the thing that I so happen to be good enough at to be, you know, hired on to do stuff or whatever. Again, people like me don't think high of themselves, you know what I mean? It's like I may come off as confident and even cocky, you feel me? I get it. Like sometimes I'll watch my videos, but like, you know, actors are the worst, you know what I mean? And comedians, you know, real comedy is tragedy, right? And that's like literally what Shakespeare tells us in old Elizabethan and other types of periods in time, both Western and Eastern. And I just think that, I you know, I don't know. I think that right now I need to focus on myself and process these feelings, but it's been really tough, you know. Again, like sometimes I'll just like be talking and stuff, and I think this is good for me. But it also, you know, again, this is why I don't have like a large group of friends like in my personal life or whatever. It's just because I had been focusing on doing something else, and I'm really sad that it didn't work out. But it's all good, you know. Talked it out. It's fine. It's all I needed. I hope that you guys have a really good day, okay? And I'm sure that I'll see you soon. I was at the end of this little soapbox thing here at the end out of character, and I do have another video coming up that'll deal with it'll extrapolate on some of the things that I didn't touch on, you know, especially in that last part of the video. But you know, it is what it is. Again, it's fine. I hope that things get better sooner. You know, I'm sure they will. Everything's fine, you know, as it is. It's just these feelings or whatever, and then being stupid and then not knowing, you know what I mean? Like, it's all good. But I hope that you guys have a really good day. Thank you for your time, and we'll see everyone real soon. All right, bye.